Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Divinity walkthrough. The first part of this video we're going to speak with these ghosts and do a little bit of a side quest. Most of these ghosts are, they just say the same thing.
My mother would scold me well and good for standing here and listening to all Ebenezer deriding the gods, but what else is a ghost to do all day? He's one of us after all. I tend to avoid thinking of the life I used to lead. The life of a traveller, a sailor, a free spirit. Those memories would break my heart, if a heart I still had. For some reason, he insists he doesn't want to go to the Hall of Echoes, to the afterlife. He claims we weren't cursed, but blessed to roam Rivellon forever. Most of us feel sorry for the poor fellow. When we arrive, it'll be to the open arms of all our deceased friends and family. Can't think of a grander event myself.
This ghostly form is the finest blessing we could hope for.
My mother would scold me well and good for standing here and listening to old Ebenezer deride. I am but a restless ghost, longing for eternal ease. A virtuous life I led, and I long to go to the Hall of Echoes. For some reason he insists he doesn't want to go to the Hall of Echoes, to the afterlife. He claims we weren't cursed, but blessed to roam Rivellon forever. Most where the dead go to live a proper afterlife. A much more welcoming environment than this dingy cemetery, I'm sure.
To be judged by a panel of stony-faced gods in Rivellon.
My word, a warm blood. Welcome to our abode of exile. And pay no mind to Ebenezer there. I think his ship is short of a few sails, the poor fellow. I tend to avoid thinking of the life I used to lead. The life of a traveller. For some reason, he insists he doesn't. Some say all sinners and saints alike are welcome in the hall. But I've
Stony-faced gods in Rivellon, we are our own judges.
What a character that Ebenezer is. Preaches more passionately than a priest. Only he speaks against the heavens rather than for them. Quite curious, but I've grown fond of him and his eccentricities. I tend to avoid thinking. For some reason, he insists when we arrive, it'll be to the...
By a panel of stony-faced gods in Rivellon, we are our own judges.
There's something to
This
it.
ghostly form is the finest
My
blessing we
word!
could... The sign... A mortal! Aha! Well, surely I don't have to tell you how much better a life or death here in Rivellon is compared to a dreadful eternity in the Hall of Echoes. Beats me. We're hardly the only Sicilians lost at sea, but there's some strange magic afoot of late. The dead can't seem to stay that way. We were all aboard a ship, headed from Arata to fair Sicile, but upon our return, the lighthouse failed to shine its light. We were lost upon the rocks and flung far and wide upon the tempestuous waves. The name's Ebenezer. Pleased to make your acquaintance. You've probably been meeting some sad souls around here, but I sure as hell ain't one of them. In life, my interests were soft weathers, southern vintages, sun-ripened afternoons, and ample-fleshed companions. Each sense was a source of new and familiar pleasures, and I luxuriated in them all. As a ghost, I admit that many of those pleasures evade me, but Rivellon still smacks of life more than the Hall of Echoes could. Though half the fun of fun is sharing your exploits with an eager ear, you know? Oh, what I'd give to find my little buddy again. The best listener I ever had the pleasure of regaling. The final resting place for those deemed worthy of paradise. Paradise after life? Ha! Look around. Paradise is opening your eyes. Or in my case, gazing through the ectoplasm and seeing the wide, wild world around you. Can you imagine anything worse than being stuffed up into oblivion with the rest of the dead? Give me tragedy, chaos, beauty, and delight. My companions would do well to stop pining and start enjoying, no? The ship that sunk and turned us all into phantoms, she was home to a sweet old tomcat, Oscar by name, who'd curl up cozy as can be on my pillow. We shared many stormy nights while I scratched his little chin and whispered stories of my youthful exploits. But I reckon cats don't stay on as ghosts after they pass, 'cause the little furball is nowhere to be seen. That, or the lucky bastard managed to survive the wreck. He was a scrappy old fellow after all.
Okay, so that's Ebenezer. And, yeah, he's an interesting fellow. There's a little bit more to his story, and it is, I guess, maybe it's obvious? I don't know, but, so he talks about telling his tales to a cat. And, I think did it say there that he died in a shipwreck? So, I mean, those two clues should lead to Unsinkable Sam. So, we're gonna head back into Sicil here and have a little chat with him first and see if, because I think that opens up some or a new dialogue option with Sam, who is he's back in the King Crab Inn. I didn't see him in kind of like his normal spot, because I always remember him kind of hanging out up kind of by the fireplace and by the Duke. And I think he just kind of changes spots a little bit once Maxine gets back here. So, yeah, so I walked in here. I'm like, hey, where's Sam? What's the dealio? So I'm going to have to... I end up coming back here, but just so you know, that's where Sam is at now. But yeah, I was like, oh, maybe he's at the mayor's house. Nope, nowhere to be found. Oh, I think I checked upstairs too. And not in the back room. Yeah. Okay, nope, not up here. Nope. No, Sam. Alright, let's head on back. The King Crab feels a little bit empty without the Fabulous Five hanging out around here too.
My purveyor of happiness! Maxine and I always rejoice at the mere sight of you. Oscar, you say? I haven't been called Oscar in ages. Boy, does that bring back memories. It's the name the ship's cook gave me when I was but a kitten. I remember him rewarding me with bacon every time I caught another rat. And I remember listening to a fellow called Ebenezer, who used to tell me the wildest stories. A strange bird, that one. Used to indulge in every pleasure of life like there was no tomorrow. Guess there was no tomorrow for him, come to think of it. He would talk everyone's ears off about the delights of fine dining, his fascination with new fashions, about the elation of lovemaking, and so on and so forth. To me, though, never suspecting his revelations would be stored in my mind, he'd whisper of the shadow sides of his indulgent character. Fine dining, yes, on human flesh even. New fashions, sure, even if they meant the annihilation of a species for its hides. Lovemaking, indeed. But sometimes the girls were very young and suffered delicate tortures. Some died in his special chambers, but would still be used. A strange bird, as I'm sure you'll agree. If he were a bit smaller, I might have caught him like I would a sparrow and rid the world of his hidden evils. By all means. We are married, my friend. Can you believe it? Oh, how blissfully happy we are. Legions of litters we'll have, she and I. There'll be tiny Sams and mini Maxines on every roof and in every garden of Sicil. Frolicking felines. What a feeling. Meow.
Okay, so some pretty crazy revelations. Gosh, sorry. There regarding Ebenezer, and yeah, he sounds like he's absolutely crazy and has no restraint.
Blessing we can hope for.
Strange.
The sights, the
Strange
sounds,
indeed.
the chaos. Who'd give all this up for oblivion? That's it, kiddo. Explore as much as you can while you've got that youthful vim and vigor about you. Life is a wonderful thing. How could you? Those are lies. It was the ultimate pleasure. Oh, how could I hang back if there were even rarer, even more exquisite elations to pursue? How could I let any morsel of satisfaction go untasted in this brief mortal coil? Surely now you understand why I could never submit myself to the judgment awaiting me at the gates of the Hall of Echoes. No. I prefer to remain here for an eternity with a few of my senses, a few of my more delectable memories, than risk being cast into hell.
If he stays here, his past will haunt him forever. At the Hall of Echoes, he may find a way to make up for his terrible deeds. Agreed. Ebenezer will not enjoy the judgment he faces, but crimes of such horrors demand penance.
Is that so? Is that what you really believe, Source Hunter? Well, forget divine judgment. I say we judge each other here and now. The better of us stays, the worse be damned.
Okay, so I went with the spiritual option there, I believe, and that's what triggers this fight. And I think if you go materialistic, I don't remember if you get, maybe you get like a reward chest or something like that, and then he disappears. I'm not sure, or who knows? Maybe he just stays here. I don't remember. But I do like his little dialogue option, or what he actually says there. That he's like, well, let's judge each other right now, and essentially whoever wins. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, that completely reminded me of one of my favorite movies. Oh my gosh, Kingdom of Heaven. There's a part in it where there's a German guy, and some soldiers come to take one of the people that he's with, and the German guy's like, I say he's innocent of the charge. If you say he's guilty, then we'll fight and we'll let God decide the truth of it. Totally reminded me of that. But all right. So, anyways, looks like we've come out ahead. Obviously, pretty easy victory there. I think those guys are only like level 8 or something like that. But it's a shame too. The rest of the Ghost they had pretty generic dialogue. I think they almost all said the exact same thing. But all right, so here is the next fight here. This one's not too difficult, and you get kind of an advantage here. Obviously, there's some poison on the ground, and you can light it up on fire right away. I think generally these guys did a pretty good job of like getting around it, but if you've got obviously like teleport, you can just teleport the enemies right inside there. And it's especially effective versus like the zombie, because when the zombie hits the ground, it'll kind of explode a bit, and well, I wouldn't say its blood comes out, but all the zombies have like poison blood, I guess, and so that'll explode when it or when you pick it up and throw it inside there. So, boom. I've got a couple of Tenebrium wands equipped right now, so normally that stuff, or that I should say, that stuff is basically not equipable until much later, or until you complete some of the Lucula Forest stuff. And I mean, obviously, we've got footage of that earlier on in the walkthrough, but normally at this point in the game you wouldn't have access to that, but it's pretty nice. I don't know that there's anything in the game that's resistant to it. There might, but I can't remember off the top of my head, so I guess eventually we'll probably find out. But that is kind of one of the neat things about Tenebrium is, again, there's not a whole lot of enemies that are resistant to it. And then on top of that, I haven't yet run into anything that absorbs it, so that's another really nice thing about it. Oh, somebody, it looks like Ambrosia got feared or something. I don't know, I think that's what that is. I didn't see anything cast on her though, so that's a little odd. But all right, so yeah, let's get these zombies down. This shouldn't take too much longer. Unfortunately, my For whatever reason, my teleports are on cooldown right now. I don't remember even throwing anything around. And then this stupid bomb got behind one of these trees, so I wasn't able to get him targeted with this guy. I didn't want to walk into the poison. Yeah. Yeah, it's in there good. And unfortunately here, you know, with the bombs, you don't want to get too close. Luckily, yeah, that worked out fine. Okay. Alright, so we've got a couple more graves to dig up here. And then we'll be on our way. Oh, looks like we were getting... Yeah, some of this stuff was getting a little low. Alright, here's our next old metal chest. There we go, so we get the key. Once you get that one, you can head back, or we will head back here in a second and go open the other one to the north, I think it is, technically.
The fancy atheist.
Whitney the fancy atheist, all dressed up and nowhere to go. That's good. That's good stuff.
Here is Isis, a rock in crisis.
A rock in a crisis. Okay. Not as good as the fancy atheist. All dressed up and nowhere to go. It's pretty clever. Alright, old metal key. Alright, so that's the fourth one, I think? I think so. I think that was the fourth one.
Here lies Anamatopea. Whoosh, bam, splat, and she was gone.
Okay.
Here lies Elzakir, the last
living
living
owl man. That's probably another reference to something
Here
I
lies old
have no
Shifty.
idea.
He
That
knew,
seems
he
like that
knew, I
would
tell you.
should be something I know, but I should know that, but I don't. Okay.
Here lies old Shifty. He
I thought the
knew,
parchment
he knew,
was
I tell you.
was gonna say something, but it doesn't. There's nothing on this. So just put that right back on the ground. Okay. Getting close. There's so many graves here. I didn't remember there being this many.
Here lies Allegory the Witch.
Allegory
We made
the
an
Witch.
example out of
We
her.
made an example out of her. That's good. I would say the only thing really well, unless you need the money again, the only thing worth doing here in the graveyard is reading the headstones, because there's a few of them that are pretty good. I think the atheist one might be the best, though.
lies Helen.
That's really good stuff.
Her eyes could
Here lies
start
Helen. Her eyes
wars.
could start wars. I don't know if that's a reference to Helen of Troy. I don't know. Maybe.
Here lies Paz. He lived as a writer, but rests as an author.
Paz. Thumas. Oh, another battle. All right, so you got a zombie boar. Let's throw this guy somewhere safe. Yeah, throw him behind us because we know we're not going back that way. And give him a shot in the butt. Take that. All right.
Here lies Paz. Here lies
Paz Thumas lived as a writer but rests as an author. Is that like posthumous? I don't know what they were going. I think that's what they were going for. All right, here is the final chest, and I don't know. I'm not even gonna bother getting it or picking up any of that stuff up. That's all not useful to me. So, but that's it. That's the 5th chest, and I think we're almost done. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 graves that I still have to dig up over here. Yeah, or dirt piles. Alright.
Here lies Tom B. Stone. He
Tom
hated
B.
puns
Stone.
until his
He
dying
hated
day.
puns till his dying day.
Here lies Montgomery, cat person.
Here lies Montgomery, cat person. There's another one I don't totally get. Maybe I'm not supposed to. Maybe that's one of the developers, or that's a reference to one of the developers. I don't know. All right, here is the 4 statues here, and you can either take these guys on or not. Oh, what am I looking at here? Okay, whatever. Depending on whether or not you win the game, win this this
To
dialogue.
enter the church, the statues that flank its heavy oaken doors address you.
Hold your horses, stranger. This holy hall may be entered by those who are loyal to the goddess only. And even eyes of stone can see you are no such creature. Ha! Who are those loyal to the goddess, it asks. They are those who have seen the powers of blood, ignorant one. They partake in the knowledge of old. Blood is life. Blood undoes death. Such is the wisdom you cannot even conceive. It is a wish we cannot grant unless you prove you have knowledge of the goddess. Answer us therefore the following question. How is she known among the loyal, the exalted one, she who speaks for the goddess? You huff and you puff, but we remain standing. Now, stone will break your bones.
Alright, so I went with the Intimidate option there because I purposefully wanted to start this fight instead of, instead of not starting the fight. I don't remember, but I thought I tried winning the game and fighting them, and I don't think you can. I think once you win the conversation with them, I don't think they will fight you, or I don't think you can activate the battle. Who knows? I could be wrong, I guess. But I vaguely remember even trying to just use my wands to attack them, and that they don't seem to be viable targets. And that, to be honest, I think it's way more useful to attack these guys. Number one of them drops a unique sword. I don't know how useful it is though, because it says it's not repairable, and it says it's only got 1 durability. So I don't know if that means anything, or if it if it just breaks right away. I've never actually tried that sword, come to think of it. But the other good thing about these guys is I don't know if I think they all drop iron ore. Maybe not. Maybe there was only 3 of them here. So maybe it's the 3 that don't have the sword will drop the iron ore for you. I'm not sure. And then here I'm whiffing. Actually, I'm hitting the wall. Yeah, there we go. Oopsies. Oh wow, what? I'm not doing anything to this guy. I think I had earth and fire, and these guys are really weak against the water, it looks like. And air. I think I take decent damage from air. Alright, so there's an iron ore, 2. Yeah, I see 2 of them. I see 3, and the stone sword. So here, I'm going to look at this here in a second. Oh, and an invisibility skill book. Very nice. That's actually useful to me. I think I've got a few that I can still learn. But there you go. So 100% chance to set petrified status for 2 turns. It's irreparable. And then the durability is only 1 out of 1. So again, I don't know if that means that you can only swing it once and then it's like, oh, okay, well, we're done. But again, it says irreparable too. So I assume that means once it's done, it's done. I don't know. Again, I've never tried it. But if that is the case, that's really lame. But anyways, I'm out of time, so as always, hope the guide was helpful.